We're about to get to it and get to work. A skill successful traders have obsessing about executing their edge. And that's it. That right there, though, that is priceless. That is everything. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit. First, what a moment to enjoy being here together, roaring in the bliss. And that right there is where all of the hard work pays off. Never get comfortable, especially in moments like this. Do not get comfortable. Do not get comfortable. When I say that, what I mean is a lot of people just going back not too long ago, about a month ago, some people under pressure here, feeling it. And I think it's important to understand what you feel like during the difficult moments and what you feel like during the good moments. And if during moments where you are roaring in the bliss, if you have some type of euphoric feeling, that's a warning sign. That's something that's not a warning sign that like it's necessarily going to come to an end. That just means that when things are tough and you're battling through, running sideways, that means that likely you're going to feel a very high emotional response. So one way to limit that emotional response on the downside is when you are roaring in the bliss, to also limit that feeling and just be about, okay, this is a moment here where I could dig even deeper and work even harder. Gio, I think that what we do here each and every day is going to take you further as a trader and as an investor than just about everyone else out in the field. It's like for sure. And that means for you, like, Gio, what are you executing on? Are you executing on the daily time frame? Are you executing stocks on the 1 hour time frame? Are you trading crypto on the 8 hour time frame? And then you have to start there. You have to know where you are executing off of, and then you have to work around that. So, as far as like what steps do you take? Well, fortunately, you don't have to play that game that many aspiring traders are playing, and that is approaching the markets without any type of strategy and or plan. So they'll be like, okay, so the first thing I do is I try to see is the markets are they trending up or are they trending down? Or is today a chop day, a range day? And then like, well, today I'm gonna take, if I have three losing trades, I'm gonna stop. Like that's just, that's how a lot of people tell you that they'll go about approaching it, and then they're like, okay, I'm trading like whatever their setup is, right? So then like as they see it, and then they'll like start journaling what's happening or describing what they see going on in the market. Like that's all good, beginner intermediate stuff, and you're well beyond that. And I think that, Chill, what I would do is I would go ahead and write this down and post this on your computer, obsessing about executing their edge. And that's it. And we are going to get into that obsessing in just a moment. But let's start over here. Let's start over here. And we see Bitcoin, right? Well, Bitcoin looking nice today on the bid. We saw that Michael Saylor went ahead, and we'll get to that one second. Michael Saylor acquires through MicroStrategy another 3,000 Bitcoins, now holding 193,000 Bitcoin with an average price of $31,544 per Bitcoin. MicroStrategy doing a good job here, helping the Russell 2000, let's say, not underperform immensely. That could change though. MicroStrategy could be added to the S&P 500 in a not too distant future. That would be very, very exciting. Michelle let me know this morning that Valkyrie is announcing a Bitcoin 2x leveraged ETF. And, it would be nice. I put it over here. It would be nice if we were able to develop a mechanical strategy that could go ahead and potentially take advantage of that. Now, as you can see, thus far, we don't have any type of price history to go off of and try to go ahead and do that. I think you have weekends. You could could you just take Jordan like CTM 2.0, or could you take BTC 107, 108 and execute them? That might be the questions that come up. Hold on one second. Let me do this. All right. Like, could I execute CTM 2.0 or maybe BTC 107 on that new ETF? Well, I don't know. You have the weekends to deal with, and the first thing that I would do is take a look through the list of trades and see how many trades occurred on the weekends and entries and exits. And I think it's probably a lot. It might be smarter to take the daily time frame. You're going to go ahead and limit right away the amount of trades that take place on the 8-hour time frame over the weekend, and it will be less on the daily, and then try to potentially develop a strategy around that. Are you holding if in a position over the weekend? I mean, you could go back and you could look at the last, 10 plus years on Bitcoin and see how many trades held over the weekend and what it was like on the daily time frame if you were to hold through the weekend. Or you might want to say, all right, well, I want to be positioned on the right side, but I don't want to hold over the weekend. And maybe you could back test manually because there's only 52 weeks a year. It's not to go do the last 3 years, 150 weekends is not going to take too long, because out of those 150 plus weekends, there's only X amount that had exits and entries during the weekend. And you could take a look at those and you could see what it looks like, or you can manually back test, and you can manually back test um, what it was like if you exited that position on Friday and then reopened it on Monday. You could see what your comfort level is. I think that eventually the ETF spot ETFs option markets are going to become very, very active, and then maybe it might make sense to be able to look at, if in a long position, taking some type of protection out. There could be many different ways to look at it. For now, we'll just have it up here as like the sixth area to watch, and we'll see what develops over there. We'll see who within the hive mind is interested in that and wants to take an active role in potentially coming up with a solution. Thus far, we're waiting here for, as you could look, we have all filters active except the CTM filter. And if upward momentum continues, it does look like that we will be looking this signal period here. I expect it to tick off if we continue to see that upsize momentum. Otherwise, we're just going to wait it out and see what happens. We have Ethereum here roaring in the bliss here, holding an open position here now, 33.3% into profit, and nothing less than absolutely beautiful to be just in autopilot here within CTM. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Cardano holding an open position as well, slightly into profit here at about 5% and change. And Solana remains on the sideline here. I like seeing, though, this upward momentum kicking off, and the momentum. Let's see if it has any staying power or not as we continue forward. Obsession, right? That was, again, a skilled, successful trader obsessing about executing their edge, and that's it. Chio, we go over the markets every day here together, and we go over the markets every day here together when we do our market review, and you'll find that on the daily time frame, the 8 hour time frame, the 2 hour time frame, the 3 minute, 7 minute. Yeah, all of those. But I mean, maybe I can't imagine a better. I can't imagine here. We have a bit of history now, started in late 2019. A better, not only education, but a better review, a better view of markets. There are people intently involved in markets and following the traditional markets and following things like the dollar index and following things like oil and following things like yield bonds. And I mean, we seem to be on the right side almost all of the time. I think that's the way to go about it. I think if you're trying to reinvent the wheel, then maybe you're going about it the wrong way. And that's the best advice that I could give you. Uh, you know, that's the best advice I could give you for sure. So this is a thread over here on X, and it's like I'm obsessed with learning how to learn. So I spent 200 plus hours studying how geniuses, prodigies, and high performer master their disciplines. And here's what I found, right? By the way, education, traditional education, while could be quite useful, is necessarily not important, right? Academic learning, you could look at Steve Jobs, Nicholas Tesla, Einstein, Edison, blah, 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 but that's not the point. The obsession for mastery. This is what's important over here. Mastery is the feeling that we have a greater command of reality, other people, and ourselves, right? When analyzing these talents, there's one thing that keeps on appearing. You see a master at work, you see their eyes focus. We talk about focus, we talk about discipline all the time, simplicity and elegance. A master turns the impossible into the ordinary. Now, I don't know how you all view the markets. I personally view the markets as extraordinarily difficult. Notice the pause for dramatic effect. There are very few people that are able to outperform the market consistently and for a long time. I think that you have chosen, those of you that are here obviously have been able to determine what you value signal to be, the people that you surrounded yourself around, the mentor, the coach, the leader that you have decided that you wanted to work with, and the community that has able to go ahead and continues just to do awe-inspiring at like conquering the markets is no easy feat. What you have access to is not normal. So Chia, when you're asking like checking the markets and what are you checking the markets for? Are you trading the markets? Are you trading Bitcoin? Are you trading Ethereum? Are you trading Tesla or are you trading FNGU? Like what are you trading? And that's like, and then as far as like what you need to do, you need to look at the chart and say, okay, right now I'm on the sidelines and I'm looking for buys, and I have over here on CTM 2.0, I filter active. I'm getting close, right? I'm just waiting for that entry criteria to form. I have 1, 2, 3 of 4 filters active on CTMX, right? I know that I need to check the chart in 6 hours and see how to signal. That's what you need to do. That is what you need to do. If you are looking at the Nasdaq and you're like, well, how does it? Are you trading? Are you trading the Nasdaq? Are you trading the futures? Right? If you are, what's your plan? But in order to be able to go ahead and execute off of whether it's Nvidia on the daily time frame, holding here an open position 52% into profit, which is a banger. But obviously, we've had other bangers just in the last year, right? And like what the NASDAQ is doing has absolutely no bearing whatsoever on your execution. So likely what you need to do is to massively simplify down your process and focus what's important. And that means find out first what you're trading, what time frame, and focusing in on that execution. That's what you need to be doing. That's what's important. Tesla, by the way, over here continues consolidating, right? It looks like it has the potential here, if it's able to get across that line, to put back into a move. But we are going to talk about TradFi today as we get towards the end of August and the headwinds that potentially have us or are in front of us. So, right, tech and crypto. We did that kind of naturally. We gravitated towards FNGU. We gravitated towards Tesla. We gravitated then towards NVIDIA, right? Tech that is outperforming. And if it doesn't, like you noticed at the beginning of the year, just like randomly, like you saw Tesla here saying, I'm attacking the short side. Tesla momentum to the short side. Yeah, FNGU momentum to the upside coming at the beginning of the year. NVIDIA momentum to the upside on both the 1 hour and on the daily. Like, pick your weapon. As we get headed toward the end of February. Thank you, Thurston. The headwinds, we'll look at that in a moment, and then potential tailwinds that may be coming at the end of March as well. So let me continue here and stay focused on what's important. And we have Cardano holding open position and Solana here still on the sidelines. So mastery, that's what you need to be concerned with. That needs to be your process. Your process is know thyself. If you wish to conquer the markets, you need to know thyself, to work on thyself. That means probably first discovering and focusing in on your weaknesses, because if you can make some improvements on your weaknesses, you're making tremendous gains, the easy low-hanging fruit. And then you get to continue working on that mastery. To gain mastery, first define mastery. Well, that's pretty important. And we have novice, unconscious, incompetence. Someone starting out in the markets believes, the potential is unlimited. Well, that's true. I just funded an account. I could just go ahead and do it. Oh, wow, I just bought Bitcoin and it went up. This is easy. Mom, dad, buy Bitcoin. Then you have an advanced beginner. They're conscious now that, this is difficult and I'm not prepared. Proficient, conscience, competence. You're learning. You are looking around you and you understand what the situation is, that, this is difficult. I need some help. I need to spend actually a massive amount of time learning, studying, working. And then all of a sudden, things start falling into place. Expert, unconscious competence. You did like it to you, it's all beginning to seem like natural and rhythm. And if you were now then to explain it to someone else, you'd be like, it's really difficult. It's really difficult, and you have to be really focused, and you have to spend a lot of time really working on it. Mastery World Class. This is from Tom Dante. I hear traders laminating how they are consistently make the same mistakes years into their trading journey, right? Where would you put that? Probably on, somewhere between novice and advanced beginner, I would put it. I've always been prepared to ruthlessly examine and work on every aspect of my performance in the constant quest to execute better. What does that sound like to you? To me, that sounds like obsessing about executing the edge, and that's it. I've always been prepared to ruthlessly examine and work on every aspect of my performance in the constant quest to execute better. I don't see any place, Chio, where you need to be worried about having any type of like routine as a trader, like steps, like what are your steps to take? We just outlined them. You like the effort, the massive conquer went into the development of a strategy that helps you know when to be in the market, when out, and on what side. And that's where it begins. That's ahead of the vast majority of the field right there. But you saw the performance of all the hedge funds in 2023. In a bad year, you're outperforming. In a bad year, historic low volatility, you're outperforming the best of the best. So what do you need to do to execute better? Where do you need to focus on? Are you focused on things that you shouldn't be focused in on? Are you getting distracted? Questions that you need to ask. If you refuse to do this, you will stagnate. As a trader, you should ask yourself hard-hitting questions about your performance and come up with solutions to problems and have the discipline to implement them. You see, being a trader, being great at anything requires a massive amount of dedication and hard work. You don't get to take the easy way out. Now, by mastery and coming to a place of mastery, and expert and mastery is some place that I would like all of you to live between. At that point, yes, it does become a little bit easy because most of it is unconscious competence. You're at, but look at complacency. You know what we talked about this morning? Don't get comfortable here, roaring in the bliss. That's complacency. Do not get comfortable at any point in time, especially during the times when times are good. Because if you get comfortable when things are good, when things are bad, you're going to be weak. And guess what? A weak link weakens everyone. You got to be strong. You got to be mentally tough. We talk about fortitude a lot. As a result, however, it's important to remember actions we take don't always produce the results that we aspire to. As a result, you need to develop the intellectual, can't get it, acuity. Someone could define that for me. That'd be great. To recognize the outcome of your actions and assess as quickly as possible whether they are taking you closer to your goals or farther away from them. Always be focused on improving, the process of improvement. Figure out what you got to review, right? You could review the last 3 months. You could review the last 6 months, the last year. Was I better off executing on just Bitcoin, or would I be better off executing on, a diverse portfolio? The answer is going to be diverse portfolio because you don't know what's going to outperform next. Am I better off executing going forward just on crypto or crypto and stocks? Was I better off not discretionary trading and focusing only on executing off the moat? Was I better off executing off the daily, off the 8? That's a great word. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Both Michaels jumping on it. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Brian, early FOMO, super powerful. Sitting on hands. Sitting on hands and obsessing on edge was challenging. Super grateful for the strategy and encouragement. I mean, it's the gift that we have here together each and every day, working together, is absolutely. It takes that commitment. Now, I know that the vast majority of CTM is super committed. They like, if there are people out there who are not able during the week to watch the sessions and they catch up on weekends, that they prioritize what is the most important. This is, I would put this more around the level of, right, between mastery and expert, ace, and that's where I want everyone to be. I'm very comfortable with CTM 2.0 X achieving its goals. Drawdowns are a part of the strategy, and I saw that coming from you personally during our live streams here, as before Ethereum took this last position. as it was in drawdown, and trusting the process. And then, you know what, like, you that's the whole thing about having that that allocation, that portfolio allocation. Even though Ethereum, by the way, just off of all-time highs, was now into drawdown, Bitcoin here was just, anyway, Ace, that is exactly where we want everyone around us to be. And the sooner that we get everyone around us in this area, then the more apt we're going to be to continue higher and forward, because we're just getting started. That might be difficult to comprehend. Like, we are just getting started, and that's the truth of it all. So, very important reminders here. Very, very important session. I mean, Auto Trader, I was surprised, and I'm very, I want to, like, commend you. And I see that effort and dedication, and there you go, Judd. Like, the choice of username of Auto Trader had me a little skeptical, but I really see that not only being there for every session, but the work ethic, the really desire to, it's beautiful. And granted, in your particular case, that might have come from the massive amount of work you did in trying to develop your own strategy, and realizing, you know what? It's extraordinarily difficult. Beautiful stuff. I've been meaning to for a long time to find this. This is lining up cycles off of their peaks, but not by days, but lining them up by block count. And you could see that, I mean, two things, obviously, as you all know, that we had not only a lesser peak, but we had a lesser bear market. Instead of that 84, 85%, we had 76, 77. But now, coming into the halving, by counted by blocks, we are running in the hottest that we've ever run into it. Does that mean that we're overdone and it's time for some type of shallow pullback and or consolidation? Or is it different now that we have these spot ETFs attracting flows? We got Sailor on that constant bid, and others. Um, I don't know. I mean, none of us know. It's also interesting to note, though, that around this time over here, I don't have the block count for this. I imagine it's somewhere around 37,000. I don't have the, or 25,000. But in this area, in both previous cycles, that's when we started seeing some pretty strong upward price movement. So that would be around October 2020, for those that remember. And then November, December was that boom, strong price action. So I want to see what happens around that time. But I don't know. I just think it's neat to look at. And all we could say is that compared to previous cycles, at this particular point in time, coming into the halving, we are running the strongest that price has ran. I could also make, I don't know, that would be wrong, I guess, to say. I could say that the time that we were running the stronger, we would end up with the higher top. Yeah, I think that. Anyway, I don't want to go there. Bitcoin looking strong here. And I guess I did it off the very peak, but you get the picture, right? Pretty good. 57 to 59. Is it waiting? It's looking like it to me. About 36,000. And so far, what we're seeing is a retest that has occurred of the 0.786 retracement fib. And we're looking now, making that resumption up. It's looking good. It's looking beautiful. CTM. What a good way to start off the week here together. And there we go. All right, everyone. Obsess over mastery. obsessing about execution, executing their edge, and that's it. A skill successful traders have is obsessing about executing their edge, and that's it. You are in a massive advantage here in having put together a extraordinarily detailed plan with a significant edge. Now it's about obsessing over executing it. All right, everyone. What a beautiful day to be here together as we are roaring in the bliss, seeing now enter long pending here. And it's a good day to have a good day. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. God bless you. And I'll see you all on the inside.